Here at Bionic Buzz, we're all about people's passion. Danny, I want to know where your passion from filmmaking kind of came from that led you on this amazing journey with obviously working on directing this movie, and you've been working with John Cena in commercials. It's amazing, you know?
Yeah, the passion came from, honestly, the etymology. It all goes back to my sister. She's an incredible creative, and she was telling me at one point in time that she wouldn't be able to get her story out there. She had a bunch of shows that she wanted to pitch, and she's in the travel and journalism space. And you can look her up, Krista Simmons. She's a journalist, and she kept pitching shows like, and they kept saying, "Oh, it's so similar to Anthony Bourdain, but we're looking for like a male voice." And I was like, "Forget it. I'll get a Canon 7D. I'll shoot it. We'll figure this out." And I didn't know anything. I didn't go to film school, but I'm passionate about free food. And so from there, there was a lot of good free food. And after that, I found out, I was like, oh, wow, I have a talented eye. Like, just naturally, I can capture images and shoot that. And it took me around the world. I got published as a photographer and as a videographer. And then I kind of was still working, burning the candlelight at both ends, so to speak, while working at Sony, which is where I met Seb. So we were both employees at Sony Pictures, and I was on the corporate side. And Seb, similar situation. I was working out, and I saw him, and he told me a little bit about his story. He punched me one or two times right off the bat, and I was like, this guy is special. Not a lot of people this much shorter than me punch me in the face on the first meeting. So from there, it was just a matter of Seb and I chatted it up, and he told me a little bit about his story, where he's from, and I was like, oh my goodness, we've got it. How do I help you? And he said, there was a few people who wanted to do a documentary on him, but they, very LA type of thing. I want to do this. I want to do this, and then they don't execute, right? And there's that kind of that disconnect. And I said, hey, Seb, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no talent, but I'm going to tell you this much. If, your story, I will get it out there, and that's kind of the essence of everything, Suffer for Good has been, is just like, we're figuring it out as we go, from Zooms to how we get the word out there. And it was just a labor of love for sure, but just like, hey, we're going to figure out how to make a feature documentary, and we did it. And now we're here. It's like this incredible miracle. The process of making the film is brilliant in and of itself. And then, to say that at the end of it, Seb and I are still friends, and he's still a mentor and a friend and almost like a brother to me. So it's a blessing. Everything about how I got into it, and then obviously how Seb got into it as a star.
Well, Seb, I'm curious, how are you, where'd your passion for boxing come from? How were you exposed to it, growing up?
Growing up, I grew up, like, as you know, I grew up in Ethiopia, in Addis Ababa, which is capital city of Ethiopia. And we used to live, our house is close to YMCA. And I used to go YMCA to play ping pong and soccer and basketball. And when I was athletic, I was catching up all sport. And one of the coach came, told me, and he said, "You're a very good athlete, so I want you to choose one sport, which is can't take you to the Olympic." And I was doing boxing. I used to play 3 sports. Okay, so shall I choose ping pong? Ping pong is not going to take me to Olympics, of course. And running is the toughest sport ever. We have top runners, so I cannot beat those guys. Then I tried basketball. I'm a short guy. The only choice I have to be a boxer. Then I tried to join the boxing junior team. Within 6-8 months, I became the top boxers in junior. And when I was about maybe 12 years old, they put me in a newspaper. The future Olympic team Seb Zewdie is the best, one of the top youngest boxer in Ethiopia. They put me in a newspaper. Then I walk in. I didn't know with a newspaper. I walk in. One lady she came on. "Is that you?" She put my shoulder. "Is that me?" "Oh, I'm glad." So
amazing.
That's why, and I love it. Then I keep going. I'm pushing it. I just get. I love it. Plus, you don't blame anybody if you lose it. If you lose a fight, you're the only one. You walk into a ring. I mean, if you play basketball, you can't blame, your mates. If you play soccer, he didn't pass the ball. He's weak. His condition is not, compared to other athletes. So this is you make your own decision to be a good athlete. You don't blame anybody if you win, you lose. So this is the sport that I like. So I want to keep on by myself, and I ended up with that. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. Danny, I want to go back to you because I'm always amazed about the journey of filmmaking, especially documentaries, because it's a very long journey. When did you first meet Seb? He said, I guess, working out in Sony, and this whole process of putting this together, obviously editing and going through the film festivals.
Yeah, the process started. I started working at Sony Pictures in 2011. I met Seb in 2013, and I believe we started shooting in 2014. So total, I mean, to really give you the idea of how long it takes, we shot from 2014 to about 2018, and then we finished at the end of 2018, and then we went through post. All the while, you're editing and going through different iterations, and then we did our festival run, and then lockdown distribution. And so sort of it's every phase I've been like, okay, we got to this step. This was the last step. What next? And they're like, oh, you hire a person to sell it. You're like, they don't just come up to you and buy it. No, that's not how you gotta have someone hawking it. So then we got our sales team. And then when you finish it, you're like, oh, you have to hire a publicist. You're like, oh my God. Okay. All these things where every step of the way I felt so green. You think, the human ego is like, oh, I can do anything, right? And you're like, I feel like now I went through film school, you know what I mean? So the entire process started in 2013 is when I met Seb. And then 2014 we started shooting, and it initially was just meant to be like a 2-minute, hey Seb, this is your story, maybe you use it to promote your brand, maybe it's like a Humans of New York but for LA type of piece. And I shot one time, and it was the first day was with Jared Papazian and Seb. They were training, and I was looking at Jared, and I'm like, man, this guy looks familiar. I was like, this guy looks way too familiar. And I was like, what high school did you go to? And we went to the same high school, same grade.
No way.
I have a memory of him fighting someone. I'm like, dude, you're that guy. I'm like, this guy's a scoundrel. But like in a good way, he was just a short kid who'd go around and beat people up. And I was like, dude, I was scared of you, man. You seem so nice now. So we kind of connected. We have mutual friends. It was like, wow, this is all kind of meant to be. And Seb and I had a great time doing that interview. And Jared was on a knockout spree in boxing, and he was taking his foray into boxing. And Seb was seeing him adjust his abilities and talents, and it was beautiful to watch. And some of my mentors on the filmmaking side, like Arnon Manor and Trevor Ward, they kept saying, keep following this story. There's something really special about Seb and where it might go. I mean, who knows? And then on the second day we were filming with Jared, Seb's like, maybe I'll go fight or something. I was like, maybe, it's been 30 years, maybe I'll do it. And I was like, oh man, we have something now. So
I'm surprised. I thought that was the whole point of the movie, was him building up his comeback fight, but no, that came naturally, I guess.
Day two, well, it's day two, of whatever, day 98 days of production, right? You're like, day two is like, okay, wow, okay, this is not a 2-minute piece anymore. We have a real, break into act two. We have a strong protagonist. Seb read really well on camera. And from there, we just started, writing down ideas of like, where do we take it? Like, how do we take what we know about Seb and then bring it into the present day? And it was fun working with, producers like David Fish and Louis Benjamin Del Guercio and kind of shaping the story. But really it all unfolded on, before our eyes, everything that happened.
Well, Seb, I want to get your intake about, when you started filming, what did you think of the process? 'Cause I'm sure you're probably all excited to get this film out, and you didn't realize it takes a long time to get edited and put out there,
Yeah, the process is not easy, especially for myself. To never been in a movie, never been in the camera, I was just following you and talking, and plus the language that I just, Danny asked me questions randomly. I've been telling you earlier, and we don't have any script. This is true story. There's no, I told him there's no fake news here, just true story. And so he asked me this, Danny, wait a minute, and I have to find a word, to it takes a process. It's not like a boxing or sparring, and then I'll punch you back right away. It takes me quite a while to process the word and to find the right word to say the right answer, it's quite a little hard for me. Plus, when you sit down in front of the camera, it's completely just too much stress. I mean, just tough. And I remember we've been doing again and again and again. Oh my God! When I keep suffering.
I'd rather just be in the boxing ring. That's easy.
He wanted to punch me, that's for sure.
Oh, definitely, Danny, I'm telling you. I wish I could spar with you.
Did you get to go to any of the film festivals? I know a lot of things been virtual this past year. I can't remember. You said when they started heading out. Did you get to go and like see people's reaction or anything? Or
Yeah. Seb, do you want to tell them we actually, luckily, we did our run right before the closures. So we were nominated for the Audience Award we premiered at the IFS Festival, and we almost won Best Picture there, and we won Best Feature Documentary in a Los Angeles Film Festival, Film Invasion LA, which Seb was at all of these. It was cool. Sorry, Seb, I'm just jumping in.
No, worry. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Seb, what was it like being there? Did you get to give like your photo on the red carpet, everything? That must have been really cool.
No, here's not. My mission is always people when my kids and I when a movie, then let's go to movie. We like to go to movie, and after we finish the movie, what do you guys learn from this movie? I mean, we sit down in the movie an hour and a half, sometimes longer, and say, what did you get out of it? And always my message is here. I want people watching my movie. I want to get they get some kind of message. They can have a challenge them to go through their life and have to pick something out of it, which you never think about a movie, but when you walk in, it's not entertaining. It's just teaching you life. It's teaching you challenge. It's how you're going to pass that. And we learn, I think this is able to teach people in different ways. Social life, politicals, life, it doesn't matter, and sport-wise at the same time, and they can handle it, the situation they can go through. But really, not to be famous, I never think about it. But my goal is, I want to share my experience with the people. That's a good message for myself, and
So humble. I very appreciate. So, Seb, I do have to ask though, because Mike Tyson just did his comeback fight. Did you get to watch it? What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, yes, I did. He's really motivated, just like. And I was telling Danny, I told him last 2 days ago, and we were in an interview, and I told him, you know what, I'm gonna do maybe soon, maybe a ringside. I moved to Nashville. They have a ringside every year for the Master Division. They do world champion Master Division. You know what? I want to compete. I was thinking about 3 days ago. So then the Mike Tyson comes up, and he said, "Oh, what? He did it. Well, I'm not."
Yeah, I love that.
Did you hear that Mike Tyson smoked weed before the fight and after the fight? Did you hear this?
Oh yeah, it was a lot too.
So we all know that the original Rastafaris are from Ethiopia, right? So I mean, maybe Seb, we have a new co-branding. We have a little bit of collaboration. Tyson Ranch, Seb Zewdie. We can make this work. It gives you that extra performance enhancement.
Danny, I think you're onto something, man. I really am.
Right. This sounds like a commercial, really, right? Yeah.
Well, Danny, anything before I let you go you're working on, you're allowed to talk about before I let you go?
Yeah. I'm working on a baseball feature documentary with Josh Raven, former Los Angeles Dodger, that took place in Japan. It's called The Grind. And we're going to kind of follow the arduous path, a very similar path of a baseball player in pursuit of America's pastime. So it's a beautiful story, and Josh is a really inspiring guy and a close friend of mine. I played baseball with at Chatsworth High School, and now he's gone on. He played for the Dodgers, the Atlanta Braves, and then the Chiba Lotte Marines in Japan. So that's where the documentary kind of starts. And we're not finished there. We're in production on that film. And then there's one in various stages. I'm shooting something with Golds. That's another sports documentary, Gold Gym. And then some other scripted stuff that I can't really talk about yet, but that's kind of where everything's leading right now. And to plug anything, if I could plug, I've been working with the city of Beverly Hills and Four Seasons Beverly Hills, and we got some really cool content coming out there as well. So that's and then obviously Suffer for Good. Everybody, before you go, please pre-order the film, rate it. We need reviews. Swipe up, even though I can't do that. Swipe somewhere.
December 8th. What is social media for all the for the film too? Do you know that?
Yeah. We have at Suffer for Good Film. You can follow at Broken Dove Productions. That's my production company's handle, at Broken Dove. You have at Seb Boxing with an underscore at the end, Seb Boxing underscore. And then we have, my handles at Danny Simmons, Danny M Simmons. Sorry, Seb. I always plug. I'm like, plug them all.
You've been trained good. That's I like that.
He's
Seb,
got me in a full
coming
combo.
Up, or are you working on anything right now, or?
I'm sorry.
Seb, you got anything you're working on you want to plug before I let you go, or?
Yeah, I just I hope after we do this well, I hope we'll do the movie, and my goal is I'm really motivated to do the part 2. I hope we'll go through it.
I hope so too. All right, well, everyone, December 8th, it's going to be on all major VOD platforms. You can pre-order now on iTunes, and you can go to the website, www.surferforgood.com for all the information. Thank you guys so much. We'll talk down the road for future projects, all right?
Steven, can I cut you off? Can I do one last one?
Please.
That's the worst. Seb, we got to tell, if anything, can we plug our charities? Is that okay?
Please.
So we partnered with Seb, if you can chime in, the Ethiopian Diaspora Boxing Foundation and the JDC. So if you'll see in our link tree that we've partnered with those charities. Please support us. Follow along for the film. This film is all about giving back. And Steven, thank you so much for your time. Sorry, I threw off the plug at the end there.
Oh no, I encourage it. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Congratulations on the movie. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.